All right, so welcome to Lyndhurst XM Army. This is going to be a quick little video on how to install a fuel controller and Bluetooth halo controller on a 570 XMR Can-Am Renegade.
On today's session of Lyndhurst XM Army, I'm going to take you a walk around and just kind of show you how to hook up an exhaust tuner and some halo rings. So I've already done everything. I wanted to make sure everything was situated before I started pointing the camera everywhere. So got all the plastic pieces off that were kind of needed. For anyone running, this is just a 570 Renegade XMR. So obviously orange was the theme. So here we have the halo rings. So when I got these, I didn't have the right Torx wrench bit to take the headlight housing apart up here, so I kind of got a little impatient and just kind of drilled a hole up in there and ran the wires up through here, which is fine. I mean, I'm not too bothered about it. You aren't really going to be looking underneath like that, but she's all glued. Had it pretty deep. They still work just fine. I'll give you a little demo afterwards. So we're looking at where we kind of routed everything. So on the Renegade, it's kind of cool because for the snorkels, kind of comes to the front there like a rhino horn. So obviously you'll know kind of where that water level where will be. I've sealed it anyways. I've kind of siliconed everything around it so no water can get inside. But if you're really worried about it, just kind of obviously mount it as high as you can. Obviously if you swap the bike you're kind of screwed, but just be mindful of that. So I just got it set up in front of the snorkel here. When the cone goes down, it doesn't touch anything or anything. So here's the Bluetooth controller. Routing it was pretty easy. It just kind of came from the halos down through the back here, right there, and then it comes up and then up through here and then up to the snorkel into the Bluetooth controller. And that was, like, again, pretty straightforward because that's all self-connecting, the 4 pins, so it goes into the controller itself. Now when it came to the power cords, again, pretty straightforward. So you have your positive and your negative inside this big black one there. So it goes down through here, down through the side, then it opens up there, and I just ran it down the side of the quad here, and then came up to the battery, obviously positive here, negative. I had it hooked up to a switch here on the side of the snorkel cone, so when it sits on the quad like that, you can just switch it on and off. Again, pretty straightforward. You just hook it up to your prongs on the inside there. Negative goes straight to the battery. Positive from the battery will go to the on switch, and then you'll have your positive from the switch to your controller. So when it came to the exhaust tuner itself, again, that was actually probably a little bit easier than the Bluetooth controllers. That was just plug and play, literally. So we got the ground wire, basically just runs from the bottom of the tuner down here, comes down through, around the steering, down through here, and runs back underneath the seat, and then back up to the battery right there. So again, it's pretty straightforward. The only thing you really have to hook up is obviously your injector plugs and then the ground, and that's like just a matter of pulling out a screw and then putting it back in, so it's pretty straightforward. So when it came down to putting the injector plugs on, I didn't even have to take anything off. So this seat cover stayed on the whole time. I'll see if I can turn on the light here. So I'm gonna go in there with some pliers so I can kind of show you where everything is. So here's the injector wire. I've already obviously tucked it away, but it comes down in through the back here and it comes out right here. So as you can see, this is the ATV plug. This is the tuner plug. So that's the one I took off of the ATV, and it plugs right into the tuner itself right there. And then I'll see if I can move everything so I can show you where the plug went. Okay, I have it to the top here. It was a lot easier to install. Now I'm just trying to move everything to kind of see it. So you can see it right there, those colorful plugs down there. Those black wires run straight into it, and it's literally just a matter of obviously opening the pinch and then pushing it down until it clicked. Once it clicked, obviously it was secured, so that was the one injector just at the back right here, and then the second one is right in behind that coolant hose, so right in behind here. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, right there. So again, that right there is your tuner plug going into the ATV plug, and then put this over here. There you see the tuner plug right there going into the injector frame right there. And again, that was just a matter of pinching and pulling and then pinching and pushing. So that's, again, really straightforward. Probably took me about 10 minutes. That's all hooked up. The tuner, it's upside down. Works right now. So that's the stock exhaust. Stock exhaust, so the aftermarket exhaust is going on tomorrow, so I'll have some videos and the installation of that. But again, so everything works. Gonna have to read up on some tuning options and stuff like that. I mean, it's just a 570, so I'm not too big and bothered about changing it from the preset ones. Obviously they must know what they're doing, but again, I mean, pretty straightforward. There's not much demand when it comes to electrical work with these things. It's just literally directly to plug and play. Yeah, so I'll get another video up once the exhaust is hooked up and get it to roar a little bit. Let's have a look at the halos here that we have set up. All right, so welcome back to Lyndhurst XM Army. So we got the Bluetooth halos all set up. So I rigged the switch basically directly to the battery, then up to the controller itself, which is situated right behind here. So basically, just came out to the lights. So these are the far mudding chasing halos. They've been submerged pretty well right up to the top of the snorkel. So they've definitely surprised me. Trying to obviously they're much brighter in person, just because it's going from the light outside to the dark in the garage, so it's not really clear. Could also be my phone, but yeah, so pretty happy with the way those turned out. And we'll come back here and look at the RJWC center dual exit exhaust. Installation was pretty simple. Just gonna whip through it real quick.